This summer, I had so many plans to do so many things. And with the house build and just different things that took place over the summertime, I just felt like I could not keep up. I had plans to spruce up the outdoor area, start my garden this year, and just really make the cottage area look nice and pristine and just start adding character to it. However, sometimes in life, things just don't go our way. So I did what I could with the circumstances at hand and decided to do what I could do in order to create a nice little space for us to enjoy. The warm weather is still left for us to enjoy during this end of summer. Earlier, I shared what we did to the right side of our front porch on our little cottage because honestly, this year it's just been a hodgepodge of just different things being thrown everywhere, whether it's shoes, jackets, tools, dirt, you name it. And I love to have a nice, clean entrance and a nice, tidy home. And so I fixed one side, but then I wasn't able to share the other side. And this is kind of what I had going on this end of the front porch. Now, this rocking chair and table set was the same ones we used to have over at our last house and our front porch. And they have seen better days, I will say. Here, they didn't really have any kind of cover. We didn't have any space in our storage units for them, so they kind of had to sit out in the elements for a little while before I was able to, kind of house them underneath the front porch. However, sometimes with the heavy rains that we get here that blow sideways, they can get a little bit dirty. And of course, with the just dust and regular usage. So I really wanted to clean them up really nicely so that we can enjoy them some more. And I don't know about you, but does anybody else get pure satisfaction out of hosing down your front porch furniture, anything related to hosing anything down outside? It just brings me so much joy and I just love it. I find it therapeutic. So this was actually really nice thing for me to take on. So after everything was nice and clean and dry, it was time for me to start a little project here that I was excited about. I've been wanting to grow my own vegetables and even create a large scale garden out here since we moved. This year, we kind of started a little bit, and we'll be sharing more on that in another video. But for here, I thought this would be a perfect place for us to actually have tomato plants. It's right out here on our front porch. We do get a lot of sun here in the morning, and Vigo Garden sent these to me to try out. Now, this portion of today's video is sponsored by Vigo Garden, and they have amazing products for your gardening needs. And I'll share more about that in just a second. But these right here are amazing containers for the people who just can't seem to water every single day, and that's me. I am a terrible when it comes to watering my plants, but these little containers will help with that, and I'll show you in just a sec. Nelson had previously unpacked the boxes, and as you can see here, each container has a two-part compartment. They also have small wheels that you add to the bottom of the bins so that you can easily move them wherever you need them to go. Now here you see me adding the trellis system to the containers. They are really easy to put together. These ones in particular have this trellis system because it is designed for tomato plants. And if you've ever planted tomato plants before, you know it really does help to have a trellis system to keep those plants up due to the weight of those beautiful tomatoes. Having a trellis also allows for better airflow, helping the tomato plant stay rid of disease, and it also gives you better access to the fruit. And our kids were actually really excited because we grew a few tomatoes in our last house, and they were excited to have more homegrown tomatoes here as well. Now, planting these is super easy, as you can see right here, and I decided to go ahead and plant this tomato plant before I finished the trellis, just because this one happened to be a pretty large plant. And you just want to make sure you have enough potting soil in there to get everything nice and firm. Now you do want to make sure that each of the different sections connect to those little connectors that you see right there in order to build the trellis. And you do want to make sure that they go in all the way so that it stays nice and sturdy. And as you can see here, these trellises are almost my height. Now, I'll have their website listed in my description box below, but if you have not gone to Vigo Garden, I highly suggest you check it out because they have so many different things for your gardening needs. And not only do they have planters like the ones that I have for people who may not have a huge yard or maybe want a couple of different plants, perhaps on a patio or a porch, but they also have beautiful raised garden beds and lots of different tools that you can use for your gardening needs. Now, I did want to mention that not only do they have planters and different accessories for your garden, but they also sell the actual plants and beautiful seedlings. They come in this type of packaging. Very nice. It's kind of like their own little mini greenhouse, and they are ready to go into your garden space. Now, for my viewers, Vigo Garden has provided a code that you can use at checkout so that you can get a discount for even more amazing savings. And I am so excited for this because I do think you'll really love these tomato planters if you do decide to check them out. Now, here is how the reservoir tank works. It has a little opening to one side where you can use a hose to add water, and the little dial on the left that you see rises and tells you when the water is full. And as the water is used up by the plant, it will start to lower back down to let you know when it's time for a fill up. And of course, after all that planting, it was time to clean up the deck again. Now, having tested these planters out, I can attest that they work. These plants got so tall, and our fruit was so abundant this year. Look at all these tomatoes. And the system that self waters really does help, especially when you want to go out over the summer and perhaps visit family, go on vacation. These things did not let us down, and our tomatoes were always well watered. Now, one more area that was driving me pretty insane and really needed to be addressed was our backyard area where our gazebo was. This is directly behind the cottage, and you can see where it's at in relation to our farmhouse. Now, this was basically a drop zone for Nelson, anything that he needed to put in a place somewhere, he would put it here. And we even had down furniture from previous storms. We also had dead plants. Yes, we had these planters that I had planted last year and they look absolutely amazing, but pretty much everything was an annual, so they didn't really survive. And our little palm tree obviously did not survive our really bad winter last year, so it died. And honestly, all I wanted to do was clean everything up and tidy. I wasn't even focusing on planting anything new. And honestly, it's just the season I was in. I was not interested in having to plant anything that would require too much of my attention or just time because we had so much stuff going on this summer. And I really just needed to simplify things and tidy things up. It really does help when everything looks a little bit nicer and neater and is organized outside. At least for me, it does. And yes, I would rather have it nice and pretty and planted and flowering, but you know what? It's okay. There's so much going on for us and our family at this time that honestly, I was perfectly fine with just keeping everything bare. Now, I was actually surprised that one of these planters actually had some life still left in it. So I just basically cleaned this one up and left the plants there to see if they would survive. Then it was off to tackle the bigger stuff. Nelson brought his truck over so he can put some of the larger items away in our storage on our property. And I just started cleaning around, getting rid of weeds, getting rid of trash, and just starting to just tidy up the place and clean it all up and get it organized. Do you guys love my little cleaning bucket? Yeah, with everything still in storage, I refuse to buy anything new until I move into the house. And that one was actually part of a Happy Meal from McDonald's last year. I kept the little bucket, and yeah, that's what I use to clean stuff around the house. This was quite a bit of work, but I enjoyed getting all of this tackled, and it was nice to see the kids be able to enjoy the pool outside during the nice hot summer days and actually have an area again in the back where they can hang out and dry off and just have a place to go to instead of having to be indoors all the time. Well, that's it for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed it. Enjoyed spending the day with me as I tidied up our area around our cottage and just really make things feel like home again throughout the chaos of our farmhouse build. Don't forget to check out Vigo Garden, and I'll have those links in my description box below as well as that coupon code for your savings. I will see you all very soon. I hope you're all doing well. Until then, adios.